The Rev, Renell Hunt, making his triumphant return.
Yes.
It's a return that's greater than
You know you love me. You know you love me. I'm back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Rev Show. What are we talking about today?
Well, I must love you, otherwise we would have trained the security code up front, so you're here, so be happy for that. Rev, we're talking about Braun!
No, I think we're talking about Braun! And that's what we're going on.
Not this, up.
Well, listen, man, my jacket's tight. It's not as comfortable and it's not great quality as David Allen.
That's why I went jacketless, because I knew I was going to have to do Braun!
All right, well, here's the thing. We're looking at a man that's dominating the game. The fact is, he is built the way he needs to be built. We've seen him numerous times. What other man takes out team, make Roman Reigns strong? What other man can do that? What other man takes out, well, actually, I can't even say what other man, because we've seen rings collapse regarding Big Show numerous times.
Yeah, but you know what? Yeah, obviously the stunt, the spot has been done before, but they do it selectively. And this might have been the most, other than the first time they did it.
I agree.
This might have been the most effective, just because of how Braun has been built up to this. And I love the way, I mean, John Cohen, the referee, took the bump, and I love the way that there obviously there's no winner to the match, but the way they had Braun stand up, the way the commentator sold it, it was well done. All right, so what's the end game for Braun Strowman here?
My thing is, I cannot wait until the end. I've said this before, way earlier, before WrestleMania. It needs to be him versus, well, who else do we know? The only monster that's left in the game. They need to go at it. The thing is, Big Show, he does what he needs to do. He needs to he gets people over. He does what's best for business. The fact is, we have Braun Strowman who's dominating. I need to see him and Brock Lesnar. You want to see the Rev get all loose and get all moist and everything? You got to give me Braun Strowman and Brock Lesnar. It needs to get there. Unfortunately, I feel like this is going to have to stretch because this is going to be two great guys, great giants in the game. But that's what I need to, have me a little, excited.
If you're getting moist, that's a whole other internet show that's not Chair Shot Reality. Look, I agree with you. I thought Braun would take the title from Brock the day after Mania. It's going to draw out more. That is definitely the end game right now for Roman Reigns than Brock Lesnar. I want to see. I think at this point, Braun Strowman has destroyed either in an actual match
anyone.
or just in backstage attacks, literally almost everybody else. Now, Juice and I talked last week about could you maybe have a Shield reunion for one night on Raw to try to take down Braun? That's possible. Again, you have time to kill. I'm looking at the only other big guy that I can think that would make sense who's also a babyface that's on the same show, and that would be Big Cass.
Well, where do you think it goes now? I mean, when you look at a guy like Braun Strowman, goes out.
I almost put Big Cass, and I'm not talking about next week. I'm talking about, Braun's probably going to fight Roman Reigns at the next Raw pay-per-view at Payback. So I'm talking about after that. Then you're going to find something else for Braun. So I'm looking at a guy like Big Cass. They're not tag champions, him and Enzo. And Big Cass is the kind of guy you can almost put him in a little bit of the spot that I refer to that Sami Zayn could be in, which is people love Big Cass. People love the act of he and Enzo. You could have Big Cass in a little feud, a little program with Braun. Braun beats him. It seems like a big deal because Cass is the size he is. But if Cass loses, Cass is not harmed. Nobody's going to go, oh, I give up on that guy. I think Big Cass would be another guy to have on the building point.
I'm looking at it like this. I feel like Braun Strowman, whatever's thrown in his way, he's going to completely dominate it. There's only one way to build this as you build up to a monster like Brock Lesnar. He already beat the other guy that already beat The Undertaker. Now he has to beat another guy that also beat The Undertaker at WrestleMania. The fact is he needs to keep dominating, and at the end of the day, there's not going to be one word to describe him. And unfortunately, I'm not going to spell it out for anyone because we all know what it is. But Braun Strowman, he's a monster. He's going to dominate whatever's in his path. And there's no other done deal.
I'd love for you guys to tweet us on Twitter at #WZCSR. What if we had Braun versus the Rev? The Rev's an independent professional wrestler, if you don't know that. Book me how that match goes using the #WZCSR. Perhaps we will share and retweet some of the greatest ones. Braun Strowman, fun fact, obviously did not do any NXT television. Barely had an NXT match at all, even a live event. Speaking of NXT, we go to Fort Lauderdale, Florida for Josh Eisenberg's NXT at 90.
It is now time for NXT in 90. Well, NXT this week was the beginning of a new era. A glorious era is still taking place in NXT, but a new #1 contender has come about and has woken. Go to sleep is what Bobby Roode did this past week to kick off NXT, thanks to Hideo Itami, as he is going to be the next guy to challenge Bobby Roode for that NXT championship. The best part about Itami, which sounds like the worst, but is actually the best, We don't know what Itami can really do in the ring, can really do with the feud. We've seen him compete at a high level, but injury has sidetracked him. I'm excited for this. Hideo Itami is not the charisma of Shinsuke Nakamura, but let's be real, who is? Also on NXT, we saw Andrea Cien Almas pick up a victory. Basically a mid-card jobber. Yeah, I like Cien Almas, but I do think that there's nothing really there for him. Too much main event heels right now with Sandy, with Bobby Roode, and with other guys tipping, going up the ladder as a lot of people leave NXT. Speaking of leaving NXT, this was the final curtain call for a man named Ty Dillinger. 10, 10, 10. I've never seen a guy with so much charisma and connection with the crowd. Well, I have, and it actually was not 10, but it was yes, yes, yes. An actually really good steel cage match ended the feud between Eric Young and Ty Dillinger as Ty Dillinger goes to SmackDown. Now things can shift towards May, towards NXT TakeOver in Chicago. I think it's a little too soon for another NXT TakeOver, but that's another story for another day. The new graphics, the new logos, the new entrance video. NXT is getting into a new era with guys like Aleister Black, Roderick Strong, Bobby Roode, Eric Young, Sanity. All of these pieces are going to make NXT must-watch, even if they lose Nakamura in the perfect 10. That is NXT in 90. Stick around. We have so much more Chair Shot reality all weekend long on WrestleZone.com.